Okay, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up these cheap, easy to use tattoo kits. You can get them on Amazon. They're Dragonhawk. It's got a switch here to turn it on. Just plugs into any outlet. This is the voltage here. Turn that up or down. And then it's got power for your tattoo gun, and then it's got a foot pedal that you step on to work the tattoo gun. And I'll show you how to set up your tattoo gun. So we're going to be practicing on this orange here, but if we were doing a tattoo on a person, we would do everything sterile, and I'd wash my hands, glove up, but we're just gonna pretend that this is sterile for the purpose of this video. There's two different types of tattoo guns that you'll need to know. There's the liner and the shader, and I will show you the difference between these here. So your shader is going to so this part here is called the armature bar. Here it is on this one. And then there's this called the front spring. It's a little thin piece of metal. And you can see that front spring here, it only comes up to a little past the halfway point on that armature bar on the liner. So this is your liner. On your shader, it's usually going to come all the way up almost to the very end of that armature bar there. Your front spring. So that's the difference between those two, liner, shader. And I have this diagram here, shows the anatomy of your tattoo gun. You can pause the video and screenshot this if you like. It tells you all the different parts of the tattoo gun. And then what I just explained here is drawn down here, the difference between the liner and the shader. Shader is going to do your shading in your tattoo, and the lines is going to draw the outline of it, or any lines in the center of it. So to set up the gun, we'll put the shader aside. To set up the gun, you'll take your power cord, and it's going to plug into these two holes on the back here, like so. And usually this is set to work, but if you step on the foot pedal and nothing happens, sometimes you have to adjust this front this screw here. It's the control screw, and you want to set that so this armature bar moves up and down easily. So these are everything. This needle and the grip are both going to be sterile, so you want to open these sterilely. After you're gloved up, you'll take it and you'll be very careful not to touch the inside or the tip. You'll put it into your tattoo gun like so. This loosens here so you can fit it in there. And then when you get it where you need it, just tighten that down with your needle. Again, this all needs to remain sterile, so be very careful of the tip, that you don't touch anything with the tip. You want to drop it in there without touching anything but the sterile part of the inside of the grip. And then you'll fit it onto your armature bar here. This little grommet or nipple will go over that to hold it on. And what you want is about, it's a little, I'm going to adjust the grip just a little bit here. You want about a nickel's width of your needle hanging out the side, out the front of that grip there. So if you were taking a nickel, it'd be about that width of it. And then tighten that back down. The final thing you'll do is take a rubber band and just go all the way around everything here. Just kind of hold this needle steady like that. Again, this is sloppy for this instructional video, but you want to be very careful not to get any. I'd be gloved and nothing dirty touching, or nothing non-sterile touching the tip here. Then you want to get your needle tip in the ink here, and you can be careful not to touch the bottom of your cup, but you can run the needle a little bit to get the ink in it. If you touch the bottom of the cup, you can dull your needle, so you don't want to do that. And before I start here, I'm going to show you about what kinds of needles to use. We're doing lines, so I'm using the liner gun and using the liner needles. And again, you can pause your video and take a screenshot. This explains everything about needles. So the code that is on your package here, I'm going to explain to you what that means. So you can see there's numbers underneath each section here. Number 1 is going to be your diameter or gauge of the needle. So this is a 12 gauge needle. Number 2 is the needle count. There's 3 needles. And number 3 is going to be your configuration. So RL is round liner, RS is round shader, F is flat, M is magnum. Those are shaders. And then 4 is your taper. So long taper, medium taper, short taper. So mark code here is 1203 RL ST, 12 gauge, 3 needles, round liner, and short taper. And that's kind of your standard liner that you're going to use. The liners, as you can see here, they come to a point. All the needles come to a point, and your shader looks more like that. It's broad to allow for shading. Voltage for your tattoo, your power supply, you're going to want it at 7 to 9 for lining and 8 to 10 for shading. Got it set at 7.5. Some tips: use A&D ointment, both as aftercare, but also while you're tattooing, it can help. Shake your ink very well before you pour it into your cup. Don't hit the bottom of the ink cup with your needle so it doesn't dull it. And then the nickel width that I explained, you want just a nickel width of needle tip hanging out of your grip. And I'll show you here how to do your tattooing. So we already got some ink in there. I'm just going to step on the foot pedal, and we'll see if we can do a little design here. I'm going to do a little Anarchy A. There you go. That's pretty much gives you the gist of how to get started with this thing. You can watch other videos for tips on the actual tattooing process, but hopefully that's enough information to get you started setting up everything with the tattoo gun. Thanks for watching.